Students, as soon as the recording starts, please enter your attendance in the chat window. Recording has been started. Now you can enter your attendance in the chat window. So I hope all of you are with the pen and paper. It's required for you to have the pen and notebook. As I said, for the AD, you should keep the dedicated notebook. You can write both your assignments and whatever we give the notes in the class, which are helpful, in the same notebook. Let us start with the class. Students, is the screen visible? Reply me through the chat windows whether the screen is visible. Okay, okay, Prerana. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let us start with the class. So, what we were discussing in the last class, can somebody tell me what we were discussing? Now we know that what is minterm, what is max term. Correct, students. Now we know that what is minterm, what is max term, and given a equation, how you can represent it as sigma, summation of minterms. What do we call it as? Sum of products or product of sums. This much we know. So after we having the equation, listen carefully, you can even write down. After having the equation in the form of SOP, when I say SOP, that means sum of products, or POS, that is product of sums. After having the equation either in the form of SOP or POS, our next intention is minimizing the equation. So why should we minimize the equation? That is the question. Why should we minimize the equation? Why we are minimizing the equation? There are two reasons for minimizing the equation. Okay, look here. It's given in the slide. Whether the slide is visible? Minimum forms of switching functions. So why should you have the minimum sum of products expression or minimum product of sums expression? So sum of products is nothing but sum of min terms. Okay, product of sums is nothing but product of max terms. So why should we go for minimization? And what do you mean by minimization? These are the fundamental questions we have to answer. So why should we go for minimization? Is because, see, note down, we should go for minimization for the first reason, when you minimize the equation, you will have minimum number of terms. So when you have minimum number of terms, the gates you use, I had told you in the last class, there is a AND gate and OR gate. Likewise, many gates are there which will do your circuit. Okay, for doing that particular circuit, when you minimize the equation, what happens? The number of gates required, will be obviously less. Okay. And also students, each term having minimum number of literals. So what do you mean by term and what do you mean by literal? So if I consider this particular equation, students, look here, this here x plus y is a term. Okay, it is a max term. It is a term. X is a literal, y is a literal. Similarly, x plus y dash is a term. X is a literal, y dash is a literal. So look here. Here, x dash y is a term. Okay, and x dash is a literal and y is a literal. So if you come to this line, okay, in this line, x dash y z is a term. X dash is a literal, y is a literal, and z is a literal. So I can say, you already know that what is min term, what is max term. In each min term or max term, the alphabets which represents the inputs, that may be x, y, z or a, b, c or a dash, b dash, c dash or x dash, y dash, z dash, those things we call as literal. Okay. So through minimization, what we can achieve, through minimization, we can achieve that two things. One is minimum number of terms we will have. So when you have minimum number of terms, the gates required will be less. And you can achieve minimum number of literals. When you have minimum number of literals, it leads to minimum number of gate inputs. Are you understanding? You have two input AND gate, you have two input OR gate. Similarly, you can have multiple input gates also. So we always prefer to have lesser inputs and lesser number of gates. Why do we want lesser inputs and less number of gates? Because it is economical. You can save money. Same effect you are obtaining using similar circuit with less gates, less number of inputs. That means we are saving money, we are saving time, all those things are happening. That's why any digital circuits, you know that now washing machine is digital, computer is digital, TV is digital, everything is digital. So when you are developing some digital system, we will go for minimization of that particular circuit. So how you can do minimization? Using minimizing the sum of products, that is sum of min terms. So there are different methods to minimize. But what is the meaning of minimization? The meaning of minimization is nothing but reducing the number of terms and reducing the number of literals. Why do we have to minimize? Because it would be economical and time saving. Okay. So next, look here. You have for minimization or for simplification, algebraic simplification is there. That is one way. Write down, students. For simplification or for minimizing the digital equation, for minimizing the digital equation, three ways are there. One is algebraic simplification. Second one is Karnaugh maps. Third one is Quinn-McCluskey tabulation technique. Okay. The first method is algebraic simplification. Second method is Karnaugh maps. And the third method is Quinn-McCluskey tabulation technique. Okay. So among which, first let us go through algebraic simplification. This is like only glimpse of it is there for in your syllabus. Okay. So what is algebraic simplification? As I told in last to last class, there are some formulas, simplification theorems. Look here, uniting theorem. So what do you mean by uniting theorem? X plus y plus xy dash will be equal to x. Absorption theorem, where x plus xy is equal to x. So actually, initially what is happening here? Two terms are there. Two terms are there, each term having two literals. But after reducing, you are having only one literal. So number of gates and number of inputs required has been reduced. So using these simplification theorems, we will try to simplify. How do you simplify? Look here. Look here. Here you have the equation. So what is the equation? X plus y dot x plus y dash dot x dash plus z. So how many terms are there, students? Three terms are there. Each term is having two literals. That means there are totally six literals. So here we are doing various steps. You can observe various steps we are doing. Okay, I will not way you solve trigonometric sums or algebraic sums using different types of theorems, step by step we are going, and finally we are left with only two literals. Using these steps, you need not bother much now. When the you just understand that initially there are six literals. By applying various theorems, I'm able to get only two literals. So using two literals, what happens? The number of gates I will be using would be very less. Okay. So since the number of gates and number of inputs are less, it is economical and time saving. So students, from this point, I will just summarize. So what is that? We know that there are representation of Boolean algebra equation or digital circuit equation in the form of product of sums and sum of products, or sum of min terms or product of max terms. And these representation can be reduced. Why do we want to reduce? Because simple expression uses less logic gates. What are logic gates? NOR gate, NOT gate, AND gate. I had shown you in the next class like that. And thus it will be cheaper. Cheaper means economical and less power, faster, time saving. These are the advantages. That's why we will want to simplify. So what are the three ways of simplifying? Algebraic simplification, Karnaugh maps, and Quine-Matlowski method. Okay, so among which we just discussed algebraic simplification. What is algebraic simplification? Here we have the example. So here we have the example. So what is that example? X plus y dash, x dash plus z, having six literals, using by doing various steps as we do in normal algebra. Finally, I obtained xz. I'm not explaining these laws. I want to keep it simple. I want you to just understand, using these algebraic simplification, six literals can be converted into two literals, and it is different in different cases. Okay, that this very much similar way you do your normal algebra. Okay, so this much did you understand, students? Reply me in the chat window, or if you are having doubts, unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, I got 3 replies. Please, if somebody is not following, let me know. Okay, students, let us go to the next topic, students. Very easy, but you have to follow me with the see this algebraic simplification having some disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? It needs like intuitive learning. You should be able to put which law at which time. Okay, you might have experienced in your plus 2 or during your high school days. We used to have some like LHS is equal to RHS, prove LHS is equal to RHS. Sometimes we used to stuck in those problems hours together, isn't it? We were never able to prove LHS is equal to RHS just because we don't know the timing wherein which formula need to be put like that. So this algebraic simplification is not preferable. So if this is not preferable, what is the preferable solution for simplification? Write down, students. Karnaugh map is the good way of simplifying. That is the name of your um, module, students. Chapter Karnaugh map. Write down. Since algebraic simplification is difficult, since algebraic simplification is tricky, and it is not always give you the correct minimum form. That's why the solution is Carnot maps. Using this Carnot maps, we will be able to simplify any sum of product sum or product of some problem very easily. Okay, so we are starting with the topic Carnot maps. So initially, let us start with which Carnot map? Two variable Carnot map. Two variable Carnot map. So no, write in your notebook. Write in your notebook. Something is shown on the PPT, right? What is that? There is some equation AB which is leading to the output F. The truth table is given. Write the truth table, students, in your notebook. Write the truth table in your notebook. Okay, somebody on your video, I'll ask randomly, show me the notebook or paper in which you have written. Parvati, can you show? Okay, did you write the truth table which is shown on the PPT? Can you show me? Just show what you have written.
Just a second, ma'am.
Okay. Next, Pavan R, can just show the book in which you are writing.
Ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Parvati. Thank you. You can off the video. Okay. So look here, students. You have written this truth table. I'm assuming, and I trust you all, you have written this truth table. After writing this truth table, you write this structure, this B diagram. What is there? Write this structure, students. Write this structure. Only this B diagram. The truth table is the diagram A, and this is diagram B. Okay, after writing this diagram, now stop writing and listen to me. Students, it is nothing but two variable Carnot map. It is nothing but two variable Carnot map. So why, when I am telling two variable Carnot map, how many boxes are needed? How many boxes are needed? Of course, we need four boxes. We need four boxes because you have four set of inputs. Okay, four set of inputs. First set of input is 0, 0. Second set of input is 0, 1. Third set of input is 1, 0. Fourth set of input is 1, 1. So since I have four set of inputs, I will be having four set of boxes. Okay, so four boxes are there. Four boxes are there. Here the important, very important question is, which box is for which row? Okay, this is 0th row, this is first row, this is second row, this is third row. Okay, four rows are there. Here four boxes are there. So which row is for which box? How do you decide? So the decision is based on the variables you write here. There is a line here, right? On the line, you have the letter A. There is no condition, students. You have to write A only here or B only here. But the meaning changes after writing A here and B here. You can reverse it also, but it will change the meaning. So for now, let us think that we have written A here and B here. And the value of A will be 0 for this column and value of A will be 1 for this column. Similarly, the value of B is 0 for this row and the value of B is 1 for this row. Are you understanding, students? The value of A is 0 for this column. Value of A is 1 for this column. Value of B is 0 for this row. Value of B is 1 for this row. So now, in this box, both the value of A is 0 and both the value of B is 0. So value of A is also 0, B is also 0 means this corresponds to the first row of the truth table. This corresponds to the first row of the truth table. Okay. And here, observe students, value of A is 1. Value of A is 1, but value of B is 0. Value of A is 1 and value of B is 0. Then this corresponds to the which row of the truth table? Which row of the truth table? Answer me in the chat window. I'm showing through my mouse, right? So this box, in this box, the value of A is 1 and the value of B is 0. So this corresponds to the which row of the truth table? That is the question. Can you answer, please? Very good, students. I'm happy that you are following. Thank you so much for your concentration. Okay. So this corresponds to the third row. So here the value of A is 0 and value of B is 1. So it is second row. So first row, second row, third row, and this is fourth row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in your notebook, please make a note here. This is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row, this is the fourth row. Okay. That's why, students, I am written here 1. So why, how did I get this 1? This is the output of the first row. Here also there is 1. How did I get this 1? This is the output of the second row. I'm writing here 0. How did I write this? I wrote this because this is the output of the third row. And here I have written 0. That means what? That is the output of the fourth row. So that's how I filled the Karnaugh map. That's how I filled the Karnaugh map. I hope everybody understood the diagram B. So now let us go to the diagram C. So here in diagram C, if you have adjacent ones, you can group them to simplify. In order to simplify, you can group them. So here there is a dash, B dash, and here there is a dash, B. So your F will be equal to whichever one is there, its group. Okay, if you sum, that will be equal to your F. So what is your F? F is nothing but wherever one is there, that min term you have to add. I'll repeat, your F is nothing but in the Karnaugh map, wherever one is there, you have to add them. So F is equal to A dash, B dash plus, because this square represents A dash, B dash, where both A is 0 and B is 0. And this square represents A is 0 and B is 1. So it is nothing but A dash B. Okay. So after this, if you take A dash common, B dash plus B will become 1. So finally you are left with A dash only. That indicates you need not have to take common and do all the steps. Whenever you do some grouping, whatever the common literal is there, that will be equivalent to the function. So you can avoid doing this simplification. You can directly write after grouping among the two minterms, whichever is the common, that will become the value of the function. Okay. So we wrote the truth table and we wrote the Karnaugh map. And in the Karnaugh map, write output value to the respective boxes I wrote and then adjacent boxes I can combine. After combining the adjacent boxes, whatever the common literal is there between those adjacent boxes, that will become the value of the function. So after reducing this using Karnaugh map, f will be simply equal to a dash. Okay, so you can observe here. So look here, f is always a dash. When a is 0, it is becoming its complement. When a is 0, again it's becoming complement. When a is 1, it's becoming complement. A is 1, it's becoming complement. So initially we thought there are two min terms, but after minimizing, there is, sorry, two terms and four literals, and after reducing, I'm having only one literal, so I can have the circuit very easily. I can have the circuit very easily, very economically. So this figure 5.1, everybody, did you understand, students? Reply me through the chat window. I'm going very slowly. Okay, anybody having doubts, you can let me know as well, students. Okay, thank you. Next diagram, you are learning, students, you are learning three variable Karnaugh maps. You are learning three variable Karnaugh maps. So let us look at this three variable Karnaugh map, students. Look here. You already know how to write these inputs. 4 zeros, 4 1, 2 zeros, 2 1, 2 zeros, 2 1. So three variables means 0 to 7th row, 0th row till 7th row, and function is given. The diagram A is given to us. So what is our job? What is our job? My job is to write the K map. I have written the K map. So this is 0th row. 0th row means A is 0, B is 0, C is 0. So which box corresponds to that? This particular box, wherein A is 0, B is 0, C is 0. Okay. So this row represents A is 0. This column represents A is 0. This column represents A is 1. And similarly here BC. 0, 0 means B is 0, C is 0. 0, 1 means B is 0, C is 1. 1, 1 means B is 1, C is 1. 1, 0 means B is 1, C is 0. So this represents the second one. So this is the 0th row. This is the first row. So this one is 0, 1. 0, 1, 0 means this is third. 3. So mark it, write it. Okay. And 0, 1, 1 means this is fourth one. Okay. And here A is 0, B is 1, C is 1. The box where my mouse is pointing, A is 0, B is 1, C is 1. This represents which row? This box is for which row? Reply me in the chat window. Okay. Now whether the presentation is not visible, students? For whether the presentation is not visible, whether my voice is not clear? Nobody is replying. Now, is my voice is okay? Okay, I'll just give you the introduction about three variable K map, and I'll finish the class. We'll see later. So look here, students. So I asked what is this box is corresponds to 0, 1, 1. That means fourth, zeroth, first, second, third, or fourth, you can say. If you start the count from 0, this is third. And this is all are 1. All are 1 means this is the last row. This is the last row. Here again 1, 0, 0 means fifth, fourth, fifth. Okay. And this is the last one. This is 1, 1, 0. That is A is 1, B is 1, and this is 0 means 1, 1, 0 means last but 1. Okay. This is how we filled it. Okay. We will continue in the next class, students. 3 variable K map. Okay. Right now, it's enough for today's class. I hope whatever I told in today's class, you understood. You have any doubts? I will just conclude whatever we learned in today's class. Now we know that minimization is required for any digital equation, digital electronics equation. Why minimization is required? Because it is economical. Why it is economical? Because it reduces number of gates and number of inputs. What are the 3 ways of minimization? Algebraic minimization, K-map, and Quine-Maklowski method. So we just had the glimpse about algebraic equation, algebraic minimization, wherein you will put lot of equations and theorems to reduce it. So it is quite not preferable way, because one person can minimize in one way and it will not always result in the minimization. So we started with Karnaugh map. We understood the 2 variable Karnaugh map. We understood 2 variable Karnaugh map, wherein how to write this particular equation in the Karnaugh map, how you can group that and how you can minimize that. Similarly, we proceeded with the 3 variable Karnaugh map. Now here in 8 boxes are there because 8 rows are there. This is corresponds to first row, this is corresponds to second row, this is corresponds to third row, this is corresponds to 0, 1, 1 means fourth row, and this is corresponds to 1, 1, 0 means last but 0, 1, 1 means fifth row, and this is corresponds to triple 1 means the last row, like this. Okay. This is 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0 means 0, 1, 0. So it is this one, like this. So each and every box is having connection with the particular row. So you have to fill in the value of function in that particular row, that particular box only. That is the basic tip of the Karnaugh map. Okay. So I will give you the related assignment so that you will have the practice regarding the students. Now I'll be ending the class. I hope you are not having any doubts. I hope all of you had put the attendance also.